Good afternoon and welcome to Arts Across America. This segment is hosted by Sankofa.org and the Kennedy Center. My name is Gina Belafonte, and I'm the Executive Director of Sankofa.org. Let us acknowledge the ancestors, all those who came before us, all those who paved a way for us to be here today, our Indigenous and Native American family, all those who really sacrificed so much for us to be here. We are in service of grassroots movements and equitable change at Sankofa.org. And the Kennedy Center is working with Sankofa.org to curate performances from geodiverse locations across the country to uplift and tell the story of their communities in the time of coronavirus. Arts Across America seeks to utilize the Kennedy Center's digital platforms and partnerships with community organizations to connect and uplift the stories of the arts community across the country, while also providing much needed support to artists. Arts Across America performances feature visionary cultural curators, artists, and workers using their power and agency to transform their community and thus the world. This is as much a celebration of the community that surrounds the artist as it is about the art itself. Sankofa.org is honored to partner with the Kennedy Center, and today we're celebrating women's voices with a program featuring three incredible talents. Joining me first is Mumu Fresh. Mumu is a Grammy-nominated singer, MC, songwriter, activist, and acclaimed hip-hop artist who's been called a quadruple threat by the Roots Black Thought and groundbreaking by Oscar-winning artist Common. In 2018, Mumu Fresh became the songwriter and voice of Ford's Motor Company's Roll On campaign, celebrating women of color. Her Afro-Native roots and rich activist history have spawned collaborations with philanthropic leaders, including the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, IMAN, Congressional Black Caucus, and Global Citizens Festival. Maimuna's work continues to establish her as a true global citizen, a musical healer, teacher, powerhouse, performer, and community pillar. We're really, really excited for Mumu Fresh to join us today. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm blessed. I'm healthy. I'm present, of sound mind. I'm good.
I'm so grateful for you to join us today, and thank you for accepting the invitation. So why don't we just dive right in to learn more about who you are? Tell us a little bit about how you got started in music, and what are some of the highlights of your very amazing career so far?
So I got started in music. Well, I'll start music and then we'll talk music business, because my introduction to music was always about healing. It was about sound as therapy. I would watch my mother and my grandmother as a little girl be called to people's homes to sing over their bodies, to, rid them of pain, to call on the ancestors to work through them in healing. I guess what you would call like Reiki now. I don't know that my grandmother knew that term Reiki. They just used to call it the laying on of hands. Mm-hmm. And they would lay their hands on you and pray over your body and, heal the sick. So when I first started I don't have a start date of when music became a part of my life. That's just what it's just always been for me. And I don't even, I always ask my mother, did you expect me to go into the music business? She's like, no, that's not the reason I taught you to sing. I taught you to sing, for your people, to be an asset for your people, which Absolutely. Is still, what I've grown to do in my art in a public space as well. But I learned traditional Native songs and spirituals and gospel songs and blues. I just learned the whole lineage of how we have come to understand what Black music is now, that entire lineage that tells our story and our struggle. So that's how I understood music is just a part of being. When people ask my mother to teach them how to sing, they're always surprised because she'll make them come do chores, cook, chop up vegetables, sweep the floor, wash the dishes. And they said, well, I thought we were going to learn to sing. She said, you are. Just relax, live. The song is a part of life. Let me teach you how to make stew first, and then you can better understand the song, So that's how I came up in music, understanding sound. And then coming into the music industry, it was a big shift because there's this separation of like sacred and secular. And for me, there was no separation in sound. You know, sound was God's voice, you know, working through us. So it wasn't like now God is a part of it and now God's not. It's like, you know, I didn't understand that type of concept. But, you know, I got involved with a lot of great, you know, excellent musicians that taught me the ropes of the business, touring, independent music. So I've had so many different highlights and moments. I mean, my first probably big moment was touring with the Roots. We got nominated for a Grammy in 2007. That was like my first introduction to the music business. And I'd only been there in the music business for a few months. So it was a big, you know, start.
Wow.
Most recently, you know, we did the Tiny Desk. We had a viral moment with the Tiny Desk and with Black Girls Rock, with the award show and Black Music Honors. So there have been a lot of important moments in my career.
Yeah, you've collaborated with a lot of amazing artists, and it's been such a joy and really exciting to watch you.
Thank you.
You know, to watch you just continue to grow as an artist, and also to see how committed you really are, not only to the art itself, but to the community.
Yeah.
And talking about that, you know, you are involved in a number of projects and a number of organizations that celebrate young artists, and you serve as a femtor to several aspiring artists, and you're especially committed to young people. And I wondered if you could just like sort of talk a little bit about sort of the musical ambassador for the United States that you are.
Yeah.
And your work to support the rights of young women.
Yeah, so I was asked to take this tour through Belize and Nicaragua and Mexico, Honduras, and reconnect with, it's such a diverse group of people that are in those places, you know, from the Garifuna to all the different native tribes that are there in those areas.
I know Belize is one of the most diverse spaces I have ever been in, because you have the ocean, you have the jungle, you have a multiplicity of integrated nationalities and ancient traditions that come together in that one place. A lot of South America is like that. So I'm sorry, please continue.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful, and it was my first time in some of those areas. And I knew when we took the tour, like some of the places that we were going to go to, we wouldn't even have electricity, you know, so we would have to, you know, go back to that original way of communicating through sound without technology and, you know, software and whatever equipment, you know, that you have to enhance it. Is like, no, we were going back to just the voice, just the rhythm, beating on our legs, beating on our chest, communicating, especially because there were areas where, you know, everyone didn't speak English. You know, I speak a little Spanish. But so we had to really connect through frequency, not even through words, you know. So they asked me to go because there was a large amount of women's bodies being dumped places, you know, femicides. And they were tied to, you know, the drug cartel and different things like that. So we were there kind of to discuss what is the value of a woman, you know, like she's not collateral, no matter what you won't have going on, you know. And it's interesting as an American, or being seen, you know, as an American coming into other spaces where, you know, America doesn't have good relationships because of things, you know, that happened in the past and the way that they've dealt with their governments. And so coming into certain spaces where I may not know all of the backstory, you know, of the policies and things that happen in those countries, but there was a lot of resistance to like this American coming here trying to tell us something. So I just said, well, hey, listen, I'm not trying to tell you about how to live your life, run your world, but let me just tell you a little bit about myself, you know, because I come from a matrilineal line. My mother's bloodline is Choctaw. So I, you know, started just telling them about the traditions, how we value, you know, women before colonization happened. What was the value of a woman? And then I went on to tell them to talk to them about this song I wrote for Sandra Bland and why it was important for me to write the song in first person. So when you sang it, you had to empathize with her humanity. And I would just tell them, you know, my own story, talk about my mother and my grandmother. And I remember someone from the State Department saying, you're not going to get people to open up. You know, they're not going to talk to you. And before it was over, everyone was speaking out. People were crying. People were healing. They were telling stories. They were, you know, mothers and daughters were hugging. And, you know, it became, we had a revival. It was a completely spiritual experience. And in that moment, I just knew, like, I can't do anything else. Like, I think before then I had been going back and forth in my mind of like, could I do a commercial record? Could I, you know, sign a record deal? I really didn't want to. But, you know, it's hard being independent and doing conscious music in this capitalist, you know, landscape, because there's not a lot of support, especially for women who are doing conscious music, who are using their minds. Like, who told you to think? Right. And so, you know, but in that moment, in that moment that I was there and having this revival, this spiritual experience, and we're lifting up, you know, having people look at the value of a woman in a different way and saying, reach back into your ancestral memory. Before colonization, what was the value of a woman? You know, like, remember who we are. So it was.
I mean, I'm super hopeful that the outcomes of this coming election will prove positive for so many of our communities. And I think we have an opportunity, should that happen. And even if it doesn't, which I don't even want to think about really, but it is an opportunity for us to go through sort of another reconstruction period, and for us to redefine and reclaim a lot of these institutions and a lot of these spaces and places that for so long we were kept out of leadership in particular. Well, I know that you've brought some music with you today. So why don't we have you maybe sing a song for us, and then we can come back and have a little bit more of a discussion?
Yep.
Awesome.
One. All right, so this is a piece that I actually wrote it for the Tiny Desk. It was like the night before. I wanted to write an introduction piece to kind of explain who I am. I was having such a hard time explaining it to someone who I was doing business with. And I said, let me just write a piece to better explain to you who I am, where I can come from, and what my purpose here is. Impata nawaje chichoze maya echekuena. 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 This song is in the Lakota language. It's a story about the American Indian Wars. It became a lullaby and an act of resistance to remember our language. I am the daughter of freedom fighters and farmers, bootleggers and number runners, copper colored like clay swag, cooler than Indian summers, blooded by oracles and seers and water pourers and healers. Once were warriors, now killers and drug dealers. Black Mississippi, Choctaw and Creek were raised in Baltimore, so my vernacular from the streets. We move carefully. Our pack of wolves, they care prayerfully. You'll only lose a limb fooling around with them. I am the product of a gypsy and a kingpin. I exist somewhere between Egypt and Sing Sing, born to be a revolutionary since a wee thing, rebellion in the memory of the memories I was drinking. I am the product of prayers and potions and heartbreak and devotion. I come from gorgeous women who cut and shoot and don't say sorry later. Short-tempered, easily provoked. We possess spirits, conjure worlds, see the future, clutch our pearls, they hella woke. Enchantment, birth and raise babies, yep, lots of them. On living room floors with no doctors or Western medicine. On living room floors with no doctors or Western medicine. We carry water, talk to God, we wash our hair up in the clouds. Cause we cool like that, and we strong like that. We cry silently, caressing our disappointments, tucking the hurt deep down inside of our ovaries for safekeeping, of course, until the next girl is born. My heart was broken before the midwife ever cut the cord. We was born under the floorboards, the ones America likes to forget about. The ones in which you built your little white house. The one on the prairie, the one I'm talking about. We paid the ultimate price. Babies shipped in cages to the West Indies for slavery and tender ages. This is America. Don't take you slipping, ho. Look how I'm living, ho. We be the ones they call lowlives, wild Indians, niggas, incorrigible, go figure, do for self, kings, queens, gods, alchemists, in bondage, but my spirit free. See, I was born to bring a little more light into the world, and that's why you see so much fighting in your girl, because God's work is gangster, and I got so much more to be gangster. I am Mississippi, red clay, Ashe, tobacco field, prayer ties, sweetgrass, and peyote. I survived the Trail of Tears and slavery. This here's what you call unmatched bravery. And if you want this blessing on your stages, it ain't all about the money, but baby, you gon' have to pay me. Say we call it reparations. I learned to sing in ways you may not understand. Singing ain't about songs, it's about sound and the laying on of hands. I watched my grandmother pull pain from the aching bodies of sobbing grown men with a sound that started in her pit, escaped her lips. Ooh, made them whole again. We black Indian. This red and black blood, it runs so deep. This ceremony, this sacrifice is nothing you can even teach. Unless you crawl back. Unless you crawl back. Unless you crawl back in the black womb of the healing lies to rebirth yourself brand new and learn that we are just spiritual beings having this here human experience. Nothing else is even true. We are just spiritual beings having a human experience. Nothing else. Nothing else. Take away now. I hope. Yes. Thank you.
Back in. Yes. Are you kidding me? What? Oh, you better drop that mic right in front of us. and I mean, I'm kind of speechless. That was just incredibly gorgeous and so moving to my core. You need to send me the recipe of whatever stew your mother has been making for everybody to learn how to do that.
I will.
I got some new recipes coming my way. That is a recipe for healing for sure. Oh, Mumu Fresh. That was, I don't even want to speak anymore. I want to go right into whatever else you got for me because uninterrupted. This is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh. Sorry, my son asking me for food. I actually just put this together. Me and Black Thought are working on a little rendition here. Let me see what came this. Got my looper here. just in case you want. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Hey. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 yeah. Sweetly, sweet, sweet. What a baby boy, Rockets on moonshine, spinning on my headlight. Monday, we make it. Before we see it, you take it. Finna make it wanna holler, throw up my hands. Ooh, and make it wanna holler. This ain't living, this ain't living.
Oh, blowing my mind. And you know what's really blowing my mind? Because that is such a beautiful sort of take on that song.
Mm.
But that bass lick that you started with, boom, boom, doo,
Yeah.
boom. All right. So, story. My father, for many, many years, would open his show with a Woody Guthrie song called Pastures of Plenty.
Mm.
Before he would walk out onto the stage, you would all of a sudden hear boom, 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 doom, doom, doom. And so every time and this is from when I was a child, and he would then go into his, arrangement of Pastures of Plenty by Woody Guthrie. So when you started with that, I just got chills. I was like,
Oh, I love it.
straight into my own elder history here.
That's amazing.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. I mean, that is going to be a super dope song. Black, I heard him in there too. That is going to be like, what? Fire.
Thank you so much. That's so much fun. I love, it's so relevant. Like those types of songs that are so timeless that they connect with the human spirit in such a way, it's like they never grow old.
That's right.
You're always able to, tap into that spirit and have it be current and present.
Yes. And there's so many, even in the first song you sang, it's just so beautiful to start with that historical, native language of your ancestors, and I could just hear the healing and the wisdom in that, and it made me think about what you had said, in the beginning when we were talking about that, about how music is you sort of just over the bodies of people who need healing, to just sing those songs or sing those tones and those healing vibrations, and it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. I'm gonna cry. I mean, we need this music so desperately in all of our communities, and even communities you don't realize they need it. It reminds me also of, again, bringing up Woody Guthrie or Leadbelly. Those musics, the lyrics of those periods of the Dust Bowl and having a voice for the working class and poor people, and to be reimagined in ways where we can hear those conversations again, where we can see ourselves represented in our music and in our languages and what we're calling for in our cultural community. It's really quite beautiful.
Yes. I love it.
Oh, do you have one more for us?
Yes, sure. Let me see.
Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know what it is, so we're all going to be just floored, I'm sure.
I don't know what it is either. Well, I just want to do that thing that I really started doing since the pandemic started. I ordered these tuning forks, and I've been learning about the tuning frequencies and how it correlates with different chakras, energy centers, and especially in the beginning, and especially following the murder of George Floyd, and just with so much energy in the air, so much hurt.
Yes.
I've had to do this to just keep myself grounded, keep myself attuned, keep myself, in a good spiritual space to be able to even pour into someone else,
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna. It's like my morning meditation, so I'm just gonna do it for you.
Beautiful.
How I normally do it.
Thank you for sharing
it. So this is the tone. It's called an Om frequency. All right. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. Over my head, there must be a God somewhere. 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 Oh, God, my God. My mother prayed for me. Lord knows she had me on her mind. Yes, Lord, she took the time. Oh, she took the time and prayed for me. Yeah, my daddy prayed for me. Had me on his mind. You know that he took the time took the time, prayed for me. And I'm so glad that he prayed. I'm so glad that he prayed. I'm so glad that he prayed for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Won't you pray for me? Oh, won't you pray for me? And I'll pray for you. Pray for me.
like a song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. See, Mumu started singing it, not knowing what it was. And she'll continue singing it forever, just because this is the song that doesn't end. Oh, Mama.
Oh my, what a peek into your process. How beautiful and how healing that is. And the vibrations and all of that. I can understand why you do every morning meditation. Wow.
There's so much heaviness in the air, you know, like
yes.
We're connected. Everything is connected. There's nothing that you're going to do that doesn't have a ripple effect energetically on all of the other energy beings, you know, that we were put here with to learn from and grow from and evolve with. And so everything affects everything else. So, you know, to sit in prayer for my own soul, for the souls of others who've lost loved ones, for the souls of people who are alone and, you know, and don't have that and need someone to pray for, need someone to carry them over, you know? It's like that sending out somewhere, somebody's going to feel that. They're going to catch a wave, you know?
Yes. I mean, I could definitely make a practice out of listening to that every day, for sure.
Yeah. I will have to record it for you and send it to you. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was so soulful and so like genuine and authentic and just right this second, you know what I mean? It was so right in the moment. It's just so beautiful. And to have the facility and the gift to let that flow through you is an honor to watch and an honor to be present, observing that and feeling it and taking it in and letting it heal us all. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. My honor, my pleasure.
Yes, so beautiful. Well, you know, this has been such an amazing opportunity for us to get to know you a bit better, to listen to your beautiful music, to see you at work in your process in real time. What a gift, what an absolute gift. And I want to invite two other beautiful artists to join us right now. And I'll first invite Alex Isley, who hailing from Los Angeles, comes from a musically rich and versatile family. Hey, Alex, welcome for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much.
I know that your maternal grandmother was an opera singer and began classically training you at the age of 12, I believe.
Yes.
And your father, Ernie, and his brothers are collectively the Isley brothers, funk pioneers. I alluded to this earlier when we were sort of backstage, just saying that there were many nights I was listening to the smooth sounds of your father and uncles. Woo! Yes, indeed. But Alex has collaborated with an array of artists from Terrence Martin to Moses Sumney to Kendrick Lamar, and she sang vocals on Lamar's 2016 Grammy Award-winning These Walls. Mm-hmm. She also has been featured with P.J. Morton on the piano album and How Deep Is Your Love as a duet with Morton. Mm-hmm. I also want to invite Choklate. Hi, Choklate, who is a fabulous international singer-songwriter who has collaborated or shared the stage with the likes of Dr. Dre, Common, Musique Soulchild, De La Soul, Eric Robertson, Erykah Badu, oh my goodness, and many, many more. Choklate continues to learn and grow artistically, as well as work tirelessly to provide a quality presentation of honest music that she hopes to continue to touch those who are exposed to it as she continues to stretch the boundaries of soul and R&B music. Welcome to both of you. And I'm so excited that you guys have joined us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and that's Mumu Fresh, if you don't already know her.
You know, I was going to say, I just spoke to DJ Dummy yesterday about you, Alex. We were talking about collaborating. Yeah.
I spoke to him recently too. I know we gotta work that out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I see.
I've met Choklate. We've been on panels together and stuff in the past.
Yeah.
That's so great. I mean, we haven't heard from the other ladies yet. Their beautiful artistry, and don't know yet enough about who they are, but I can see a beautiful tour perhaps with the
Come
three.
on now. Come on.
I mean, y'all have some healing sounds because I've heard all three of you. And I'm just so grateful for you all to be joining us and to be here with us. So welcome. And Maimuna, I know that you need to teach, and I know that you are about to go do that. And I don't want to keep your genius from the young people who are afforded the opportunity to have you in their presence and to be femtored by you and taught by you. So I just want to, on behalf of the Kennedy Center and Sankofa.org, just want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate
All right.
it.
Peace. Blessings to you. Take care. And here we are with the two of you. I'm so excited. What a great program we have today. So why don't we just jump in? Either of you can answer. How have you guys been, and what have you been up to for the last, 5 months during this crazy COVID experience?
I've been finding myself, facing myself, stretching myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird when the whole world that that you're concrete about being so completely crumbles, And
Mm-hmm.
I think as artists, we're all trying to continually find our voices and express ourselves authentically. But in this space specifically, it's been just really random. And it's been eerily quiet, which means you have this really blank slate and this blank space to be with yourself personally, just as a human being, but then also creatively. And so, yeah, you get to find little crevices of yourself that maybe have always been shrouded in busyness and things to do and appointments and interviews and shows and different types of work. So lots of self-discovery for sure.
Yeah. A lot of us have been going inward and checking in and discovering a deeper sense of ourselves and sort of bringing up some unconscious things that have been brought up and surfaced during this time. How's it been for you, Alex?
Really just, I've been forced to be with myself, like Chuck was saying, and just really assess finding the balance between being productive, but also pouring into myself, especially right now, just really prioritizing my health. And right now I'm just really focused on making sure I eat as cleanly as possible and working out. I try to do something now where I'm active. I would like to be active for like at least 30 minutes a day. So just really honing in on that. And
that's super good advice, actually. I found myself like I'm sure many of us have, and like those of us that are still have the good fortune to be working, we're in like back-to-back Zoom meetings, and I find sometimes all of a sudden I've been sitting for 6 hours straight without getting up, and it's important to create some kind of mental health and physical health rituals. I think we have an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited to hear some of your music, and I know that Alex, I think about your father and your uncles. Often I think about my father and his music and how they were informed and what informed them and inspired them to sing the songs that they did and the way in which they did. And when I think of the Isley brothers, I just think of like pure Black love, and pure Black joy, and just deep connecting, and just the music was so sensual. What has been inspiring both of you in terms of creating new music or even approaches to some of your older music in these last months? Just with all of the protests that have been going on, our communities really crying out for support and for acknowledgement and for equity. Has this sort of moment in time informed some of the work that you have done in the past, even, or have been creating now?
Absolutely. I think now more than ever, I'm just proud of my heritage, my culture. I'm proud to be Black. I'm proud to have that magic and that just incredible value that we have as a culture. And so that's something to be celebrated year round, not just for a month or however long.
Yeah.
So I'm just, there's such a great sense of pride for me. And
Yeah.
that's what I carry with me just going into writing and producing, just being proud of that and owning that.
That's beautiful. How about you, Choklate?
Yeah, there's this really intense desire and almost like a pull to speak to and address what's happening in the world and specifically within the culture. It's not even really something that you have to try to do. I don't think whenever I've been in the studio thus far, for the most part, my artist friends, my producer friends, we're all really present to that pull and that desire. Some of it comes out naturally through conversation and through just processing what's going on, what you're feeling, what your friends are feeling, what people are going through in their families and things like that. But I think specifically there's like a shift right now in our society that I don't remember ever having been privy to so far in my journey. And so, you know, it's like the creative process is almost like, it's almost like a tool to get through all of it, because it's not just, oh, let's go make a song. It's like, let's literally work through everything that's happening inside as we are present to everything that's happening outside. So it gets overwhelming when you stop and you pause and you think about what it is that you're doing when you get in the studio. But like so far for me, and I get to go home in a little while to do some recording specifically just to process and just to capture what we're all, I think, feeling and going through. So I think for the creatives right now, this is a really emotional time, and it's a responsibility. And those that will speak to it comes to them, I think, naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, beautifully said. Earlier when I was introducing Sankofa, I think about how we use art as a tool, because art has a way of opening hearts and minds, and using the creative space and using art and culture to engage community and to give a deeper understanding, and also allowing people to have their own perspectives and point of view of a specific issue through the arts is really powerful. Well, let's get to some music. Choklate, we're gonna hear from you first. I'm so excited to hear the songs that you brought for us to listen to today, and take it away.
Thank you so much. So the reason I picked this first song is because I really feel like we're at a time in our society where we've watched a lot happen. We've watched a lot occur, and we've been, we're products of our history. We're products of our ancestry, but we have a long way to go. The song was written for my nephew, Cuddy. Shout out to Cuddy. But the song is called Long Way. I remember when we were just little kids, banging on the pots and pans, about to get it by both our mothers. Nobody really knew it then, ignoring us, looking toward the heavens, forgetting to cultivate what was within us. Oh, I know we had it rough. Sometimes all we had was us, even when they split us up. I saw you and I see you now, and you've come such a long way. Congratulate yourself and watch our world. You come such a long way. Ooh, a long way. Yeah, you come such a long way. Ain't nothing like discovering what your passion is. Better late than never, ever. Been happier, it's like I'm a new me. When I let the pen touch the paper, writing about things inside of me, looking back, acknowledging that I come such a long way. A long way. You come such a long way. A long way. Congratulate yourself and keep on going. You come such a long way. A long way. You come such a long. You got so far to go, but I see us growing. Wonder what the future holds. There's nothing like knowing. I can only imagine. We got so much to do, but I could tell you right now that you long way. You come such a long way. Congratulate yourself and watch our world. You come such a long way. You come such a long way. Thank you. In my mind, I'm imagining an audience that's clapping and roaring like, So my next song is called Never Change. And I chose this song specifically because I think right now is probably one of the most important times to love, to just fight for your love, to enhance your love, to nourish your love, to love each other, to love yourself. And I think that the bonds that we're building in this time are the ones that will last a lifetime and sort of invite change into the world in a way that we haven't seen. So Never Change is definitely a love song. It is about knowing that there is a love that you have for someone that will never dissipate or change or go away. So I hope you enjoy it. That'll never change. Wanna be near you, and that'll never change. Baby, I got you, and that'll never change. I think I love you, and that'll never change. Got your back. Wonder one day if I'll wake up and see a different you. One that makes me feel all giddy again and brand new. Ooh, not another lover, but an extension of who I kinda love. Ooh, sugar, please do. Keep growing, keep showing me that you gon' be the one that I love. Keep loving me and tugging at my heartstrings, yeah. Keep telling me the real, reminding me another lover just won't do. There's something about you, and I want us to keep doing what we do. I feel you, and that'll never change. Wanna be near you, and that'll never change. Ooh, I got you, that'll never change. I love you, and that
that'll never change. I got your back. If you ever needed anything, you know you can call on me, baby. No, ain't nobody could open their mouth and make me believe that you don't love me and that you don't know me better than the next could ever. Hope we make it to forever, yeah. Keep growing, keep showing me that you're gonna be the man that I want. Keep loving me and tugging at my heartstrings, yeah. Keep telling me the real, reminding me another love I just won't do. Something about you, and I want us to keep doing what we do, cause I feel you, yes you, I feel you. That'll never change. I wanna be right near you, yeah. That'll never change. Ooh, I got you, yes you. That'll never change. I love you. That'll never change.
Nice.
Woo! Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. And when you were saying that before, by the way, we were all back here clapping and we were cheering.
Me too. I was over here when Mumu was singing. She and I, we were like, "Oh my God, this is church. Let's get some healing."
Yes,
like
yes,
the whole experience.
It was.
Thank you so much for putting this together. This is really pleasant.
Yes, and thank you to Eric Wisa from Sankofa.org also, who worked tirelessly to put this panel and not panel, but this segment together with us. I just want to say, you know, it's so, I love those songs that you sang. Your music is always calling us to challenge ourselves in a way, to go deeper with ourselves, to grow, and you're sort of giving us an affirmation of that growth and that work that so many of us are doing. And I super love that. It's really, really beautiful. Thank you. Well, Alex, I am too excited to also hear your music too. I just want to say that, you know, this has just been such a lovely way to spend the afternoon. I hope that everyone who's watching also feels the same way, and make sure that all of those of you who are watching find Mumu Fresh, find Choklate. Make sure you spell chocolate right. I love it. Choklate. Let's be clear, so you don't miss it. And also to find Alex Isley music. It's just such an honor to have you all here. So without further ado, Alex, please, I'm so excited to hear from you.
Thank you. Hello. This is Mike McTaggart on guitar. So I'm a hopeless romantic. I love love. Always writing about love, always singing about it. And I produced this song about 7 years ago. Shout out to all the women out there who produce, who create, who write. If you have an idea, a vision, if you have the resources, the means to get to them, I highly encourage, write, produce your own stuff, get it out there on your own, however you can. So this is about him. You're like sugar, so sweet. I know this one's for me. It don't matter whatever the weather, 'cause you're mine, ready to shine. And when I call you darling, can't help but smile. Time could stop forever, that would be fine. I'm where I wanna be, I really wanna make you see. If they don't know nothing else, they know I'm about you. Oh yeah. Telling everyone I know this song is about you. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, cause I want to. I wanna tell the whole wide world about your love, your love. It feels just like the first day, yeah. What you give me, it don't change, no. Just remember, I ain't leaving never. You know I'm here for. Yeah, I'm yours. So when I call you darling, can't help but smile. Time can stop forever. Maybe that'll be alright. I'm where I wanna be. I really wanna make you see. If they don't know nothing else, they know I'm about you. Yeah. Telling everyone I know this song is about you. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, cause I want to. I wanna tell the whole wide world about your love, your love, your love. Telling everyone I know, yeah. Telling everyone I know this song is about you, yeah. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, cause I want to, yeah. I wanna tell the whole wide world about your love. One more time I say, yeah, yeah. Telling everyone I know this song is about you. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, cause I want to. Oh yeah. Wanna tell the whole wide world about your love. Your love. So this next song I wrote, and it was produced by the amazing Jack Dine, who I've known for about a year or so. And I'm just proud of that dynamic and that relationship that we have, that creative relationship. And, it's especially right now important to keep those kind of relationships intact however we can, and thanks to technology, we're still able to brainstorm and create. And but we did this one in January of this year, and this is called Gone. You reaching late all the way back, so casual, no, unintentional, no, way past mellow, super relaxed, not emotional, no, one-dimensional, no, make it make sense. Carefree is cool, but not at my expense. Tell me what matters, cause I don't know where you've been. No love was just a real farewell friend. Tell me how long until you're gone again. Gone, 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 gone with the wind. Gone, gone. How long until you're gone again? Gone with the wind, gone, gone. How long until you're gone? Till you're gone again. Till you're gone again. Make it make sense, baby. Carefree is cool, but not at my high expense. Tell me what matters, cause I don't know where you've been. No, love is just a real farewell friend. Tell me how long until you're gone again. Gone, 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 gone with the wind. Gone, gone, how long until you're gone again? Oh, gone with the wind. Gone. This song hit me. I'm gonna sing real quick. You may not drive out a great big Cadillac, gangsta white walls, TV antennas in the back. Girl, you may not have a car at all. But I remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Diving in the bay, some rooftop, digging the sea, but it can't still think. Oh, diving in the bay, some rooftop, digging the sea, but it can't still think. Diamond in the bay, some rooftop, digging the sea, but it can't still think. Just be thankful. Just be thankful for what you got. Diamond in the bay, some rooftop, digging the sea, but it can't still think. Gone with the wind, gone. How long until you're gone again? Gone, gone, gone. Gone with the wind, gone. How long until you're gone again?
Wow. Oh, diamond in the back, sun is back, in the scene with the gangs. Woohoo! Yes.
I thought of that just in the middle of our conversation. That song just came to me, so I was like, I'll tie that in somehow. It's not related to Gone, but I'll
So good.
And that's
So,
what
so
y'all
good.
can do because you know how. It's just so beautiful when something inspires you and comes to you like that. I mean, you're such a beautiful storyteller.
Thank
You know, and it's so the sound of your voice is so soothing.
Yes.
I just
Like liquid silk.
yeah, it really is. It's just so beautiful. So
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm wondering if either of you, I mean, and no pressure, but I'm wondering if either of you have any questions for each other.
Oh, they didn't tell us they were going to do this, huh?
No, I didn't. That's just
Tell
that
us
happened to
that
me. Just sort of like that song came into her head like that. Like that just came into mine.
I guess my question would be to you: how do you take care of your heart? On your journey in the music game, how do you take care of your heart?
Prayer.
Mm.
I talk to God a lot. And that's really for me what keeps me centered, what keeps me at peace, especially in the middle of everything happening. It keeps me grounded, it keeps me humble. Just prayer and gratitude, expressing gratitude every chance I get, and just really being thankful for my life, for the breath in my body, for being able to provide for myself, for my daughter. So yeah, between prayer and gratitude, that's really it for me.
You actually, when you first came on, you said, and I felt like I just wanted to remind you that whatever it is that you do inside, it literally is exuding from your pores. Like,
Mm.
and so oftentimes we'll look or see ourselves and we're a little bit like harsh, you know? I know me as a girl, I'm always like being really hard on myself, but we never see what other people see, and they often see how we take care of our hearts more than what our hearts have been through. So you're
Mm.
just really gorgeous, like inside and out. So
Thank
just,
you.
I'm trusting you know that, but I just wanted to remind you, don't forget
Don't
that.
make me cry up here today.
Cry, girl, cry.
Oh,
No?
let
Thank
it
you
go.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're both quite stunning. You're both quite stunning.
Thank you.
And I feel so honored and privileged to be able to bear witness to the two of you today
What?
live like this. I mean, it's just,
You know who you are?
yeah, I do. I actually do. And with that said, I am humbled and grateful that, you know, that we can share platforms and we can share our gifts and we can share our artistry with the world and with people out there who need to hear from us and who need our healing and need our, you know, Black women to lead in healing and to see us up close and personal and up front and sharing ourselves, being vulnerable and being powerful in our vulnerability. And it's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful.
Alex, you don't get to skip. You got to come up.
No,
Yeah.
and I wanted to ask you
Yes.
how do you take care of your heart,
How
especially?
do I take care of my heart?
Yeah.
I make space for my humanity. For a long time, I used to like really get down on myself when I was hurting about something, or when I was scared about something, or when I was like sad, or like I'm a super emo person. Like I feel everything extremely deeply. And I used to get on myself about that. Like, oh, you're always on the verge of tears, you know? And so I used to be really hard on myself about being an empath. And so I think how I take care of my heart now is to just make space for that reality. Cause I don't think I can change. I've tried to change it and I've failed miserably at it. It just seems to like intensify. The more I try to like quell it, it seems to intensify. So I take care of my heart by making space for my humanity and making space for the truth of how things and experiences make me feel, and my mistakes and my growth spurts and all the stuff. I just try to really let it have its own space and not let it determine what happens after it, you know, what occurs after that feeling happens.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. And it's such great, it's so great to hear both of your answers to this, because I know certainly as artists, but just as human beings, we're often very self-critical. We're always judging ourselves, because in some ways we have to, even if it's not about being bad judgment, we have to judge ourselves. Did that sound right? How does this look? How am I presenting myself? What is my brand? All of those kinds of things. And sometimes as an artist, if you don't do the work on healing inside and balancing your life and your health and your mental health, sometimes you can get lost in all of that outer stuff. And
I've been lost before.
and it's just so important for us to make sure that the message to all of our artist friends out there and all people is to do your best to go deeper and not worry about the outer shell, their stuff. And also those old tapes, those old, those old things in our heads that are from when we were little children that we, didn't have an adult around to say, you don't have to listen to that,
Right.
And now that we are adults, we can, when those little old hurts and old things come up, we can
change your narrative.
And we can change those narratives because we can parent an adult and femtor ourselves, now. But wow, this has been such a beautiful afternoon. I mean, I saw in one of the comments, they were like, I'm about to drink my wine and lay in my hammock.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
This
is a great way to start the weekend. This is a great way to start the weekend.
I need to shout out my very, very good friend, Ashley.
Yes.
Can you take off your mask so they can see your face?
Hey.
This is Ashley, super talented singer, guitarist, and just an amazing woman, human being. I feel like, as well as with your accompaniment, Alex, a lot of times we get to be, right? And they're really the glue that keep us together. Like, I was having a meltdown before, and she was like, come on, you're okay. Just relax. We're going to do it like this. We're going to plug in here and that. So much love to the musicians that keep the artists from kind of coming undone sometimes. The stuff that happens before you see us play. Just wanted to shout you out because I appreciate you.
Thank you to Mike McTaggart. Thank you.
Yes.
Always clutch. Always come through for me. We've known each other
amazing.
High school together, so I've known him since he was a little 14 years old.
Wow.
So,
that's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, again, please, you guys out there, make sure you check out Alex Isley and Choklate. Find their music on YouTube, on Instagram, on wherever their music is offered. Please check them out. Buy their music. Invite that music into your home, into your healing, to your families, to your friends. Also check out Mumu Fresh as well. Check out sankofa.org. That's sankofa.org.
Hey.
I want to give a special thanks to Eric Wisa from Sankofa. And thank you so much, of course, to the Kennedy Center. This has been Arts Across America. And tune in. There's such incredible programming coming from the Kennedy Center with Arts Across America. Hope to see you again soon. And thank you all so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.